Hello everyone, my name is Umashankar Maganti. I'm a chartered accountant. Along with that, I'm also a faculty for income tax here in Masterminds. Just now, today's exam is completed. Don't worry, I'm not going to ask you how you have written the examination. But I wanted to tell you, once you have written your examination, stop talking to your friends. Stop discussing the solutions with your friends because it will not give you anything. Why is this video? I know you are busy, but just invest 10 minutes of your time. I am sure that you are going to get more return than the time that you have invested. In the next few minutes, I am going to share with you how you need to study properly in order to get the best score in your income tax exam tomorrow. Before I tell you the order of priority in which you need to study for your income tax paper, first let me tell you, you need to cover the following areas in all the chapters. First, you need to go through the guest questions in all the chapters. Then you need to cover whatever the important problems that are there in that chapter. Along with that, you also need to cover important provisions in that chapters. Next one is you need to prepare the current MTPs that are applicable to your attempt along with previous attempt MTPs also. Next, there is fast track material that is issued by institute. Along with that, you would have written some revision notes. Please prepare that revision notes in that chapter. Last but not least, as you have come till here, you would have written many weekend exams. You would have committed many mistakes in your weekend exams. Try to recollect those mistakes and ensure that you do not commit those mistakes in your examination tomorrow. Now, I am going to tell you how you need to study for income tax paper. What is the order of priority in which you need to study for income tax paper? First of all, when you see the question paper, it is issued for 100 marks. Out of 100 marks, 10 marks will be MCQs, 75 marks will be problems, and last 15 marks he is asking descriptive theory questions. 4 questions will be asked. Out of 4 questions, 3 theory questions are required to be answered. 5 marks for each question and you will get 15 marks. Now, I will tell you how to get 15 marks in the theory questions. First, there are 4 important chapters: filing of income tax return and PAN, assessment procedures, assessment of various persons, income computation and disclosure standards. Out of these 4 chapters, in past attempts, minimum 3 questions are getting as theory questions. So, if you study these 4 chapters, 15 marks will be in your hand. Along with that, you also need to study differentiate between TDS and TCS and difference between tax planning and tax evasion. I suggest you to go through these theory chapters along with these 2 questions so that 15 marks will be in your pocket. Next, balance 85 marks, how to handle. What majority of the students do the mistake is, they will start initially studying PGBP and capital gains. Those are big chapters. Once you start studying those chapters, they will consume a lot of time. At the end, in order to prepare small chapters, you will not have time. You will end up not preparing small chapters. That way of studying is not at all correct. There will be small chapters like introduction, residential status, clubbing of income, set off and carry forward of losses, chapter 6A deductions, TDS and TCS. These chapters, small chapters, these will not take much amount of time. These will consume only less time. And once when you start preparing small chapters, it even gives you the confidence that you are finishing the syllabus. So what my advice is, first start preparing introduction to income tax. Just go through the income tax rates along with optional tax rates. Then start preparing residential status. In that, the important concepts are scope of total income, deemed resident, and exceptions to residential status of individual. Next, you need to prepare for clubbing of income. In clubbing of income, important concepts are remuneration to spouse, gift to spouse, taxability of minors income, and cross transfers. After you finish studying clubbing, start preparing for set off and carry forward of losses. In set off and carry forward of losses, the important chapters are set off of speculative business and specified business, set off of casual income, loss from the activity of owning and maintaining racehorses, set off of unabsorbed depreciation. Next, start preparing for chapter 6A deductions. In that, important concepts are 80G donations, 80CCD contribution to pension scheme, 80EE and 80EA, 80C life insurance premium. Then start preparing for TDS and TCS. Some of the important topics under TDS and TCS are 194H, 194J, 194Q, 206C, 1H, and differentiate between TDS and TCS. I have already told you this is an important theory question. Then you start preparing with salaries. Salaries is high weightage chapter, and definitely you are going to get a question tomorrow from the head salaries. In salaries, the important concepts are rent-free accommodation perquisite, house rent allowance, leave encashment, and provident fund. Then start preparing for income from house property. Under income from house property, important concepts are interest on borrowed capital, co-ownership, calculation of gross annual value of the house property. Next, start with income from other sources. Gift concept is very important, highly expected a question from that chapter. Next, casual incomes, and then start studying about dividend concept. Next, you start reading consideration received in excess of fair market value of shares issued by a private limited company, section 56, subsection 2, clause 7b. Once you finish studying about small chapters, then you start reading big chapters. Then start with PGBP. Some of the important concepts in PGBP are depreciation, section 40A1A, disallowance of amount paid to resident due to without deduction of tax. Next, remuneration to partners, section 43B, expenses allowed as reduction only on payment basis, section 44AB, tax audit. Once you finish studying PGBP, then start studying income under the head capital gains. Under the capital gains, some of the important concepts are section 45A, joint development agreement, then study slump sale, then study deemed full value of consideration for computing capital gain under section 50C, go through section 54 exemptions. Then taxation of individual and HUF, nothing but total income. Total income problems, please go through the adjustments in total income problems. That will be helpful for you in solving tomorrow's examination. Next, read advanced tax and income which do not form part of total income, nothing but exempted incomes. Then go through agricultural incomes and residential status too. This is the order in which you need to study for examination. Please follow this order. Please don't start with big chapters. Once if you start with big chapters, they will consume most amount of time, and at the end you will not get more time to study small chapters. See, small chapters altogether will give you around 40 to 50 marks. Okay, so start concentrating. 40 to 50 marks you will get by preparing small chapters, and 15 marks you will get by preparing theory chapters. In and around you can get 60 marks by preparing small chapters and theory chapters. Okay. Masterminds is a premier institution offering coaching from Inter MEC or CEC to CA or CMA final with an annual admissions of nearly 20,000. Here are a few details. For those aspirants of BBA, MBA law courses, Masterminds also offer an innovative academic program called MEC Pro. Here are the details. Here are the details of Masterminds online presence. Here are the details of Masterminds physical presence. You can directly interact with any of the directors of Masterminds. Here are the details.